Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and as you can tell, and as you saw in the last video, you know that we're going to explore all the famous graves of Westwood Pierce Brothers Memorial Cemetery. So let's do it. Daze with Jordan the Lion, you all, Marilyn Monroe, Frank Zappa, Mel Torme, Don Knotts. It begins right now. Of course, this is where we found Florence Henderson, right over here. Very bottom. The great mother from the Brady Bunch, Florence Henderson. Broadway star. Did a lot of television, game shows, talk shows, Dancing with the Stars, but mainly known as Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch. I'm looking for Florence. I actually found Brian Keith from Family Affair, whose stepmother was Peg Entwistle, the woman who jumped off the Hollywood sign. Right here is actor Jack Klugman from The Odd Couple and Quincy. Down here at the bottom is actress Doris Roberts from Christmas Vacation and Everybody Loves Raymond, as well as many other things. I actually went to her estate sale and vlogged it on my channel. This bench over here is in memoriam of Miss Peggy Lee. You can see. Angels on your pillow, Mama Peggy Lee. Over here in this private section, if you look right there, you can see that that is the final resting place of comedian Miss Fanny Brice from the Ziegfeld Follies. And then from Fanny right over to here, this will be the future final resting place of Carol Burnett. Right over here is the final resting place of James Coburn, or at least his memorial. Go bravely on, James Coburn, it says. And his wife Paula. Right over here in the front section, we have Rodney Dangerfield. There goes the neighborhood. The great comedian, Back to School, Caddyshack, I Don't Get No Respect, eh? Here we have Farrah Fawcett. No birth or death date or anything on there, surprisingly. This is the final resting place of Charlie's Angels star. One time the most beloved woman in the media. And right next to her, Merv Griffin. I will not be right back after this message, it says. And I just heard, you know, he wrote the theme for Jeopardy. He made $160 million off of just that song. Over here we have producer Irwin Winkler. Well-known producers. Right next to him is one of my favorites, Walter Matthau. From just everything. The Odd Couple, Grumpy Old Men, Grumpier Old Men, Out to Sea, all the classic movies he made in the 60s, Goldie Hawn stuff. Just great actor, really great actor, really funny. And down here at the very end is Kirk Douglas. Great actor, father of Michael Douglas. Lived to be over 100 years old. Carl Malden right here, method actor on the waterfront. Great method actor, did a lot of the Elia Kazan Actor Studio stuff. And then as we go over here, a couple of famous ones in here, at least one that I can think of right away. Thomas Conway, also known as Tim Conway from the Carol Burnett Show. And Dorf, Apple Dumpling Gang. Great career. He started out near from where I'm from. He was in Bowling Green. He was a mascot. He was like a gymnast, so that's why he was so good with the physical comedy. Director Joseph von Sternberg. For you Marilyn Monroe fans, this is where they had her funeral, private funeral. But there are photos, if you look, you can find of them bringing her out and everything over here. We're gonna go up this walk because there are a handful of famous people up here. The very first one we run into is the great Jack Lemmon. The Odd Couple, Some Like It Hot, all those great grumpy old men movies with Walter Matthau as best friend. Huge Jack Lemmon fan. I love Jack Lemmon. Guy could really do no wrong. He was good in everything that I can think of that I ever saw him in. Out to Sea, the Odd Couple movies, they did 2. Then next to him is Archie Bunker, Carroll O'Connor and his family. Heat of the Night, but mainly everybody knew him as the racist Archie Bunker. Back when he was so just ridiculously over-the-top racist that it showed everyone how silly it really was. What we call a racial comedy. And then right over here we have Billy Wilder, director and writer. Some Like It Hot, things like that. Did some great work with Marilyn. I'm a writer, but then nobody's perfect. And then back here we have Peter Falk. I'm not here, I'm home, as Shara says. Peter Falk Columbo. Also in Princess Bride. Great actor, but just one more thing. Yep, great Peter Falk. And then right across from him, right over here, was Simpsons Sam Simon. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. Then it says Columbo on his bench, which I believe people said was his dog, right there. And you can see he even has a Simpsons little logo on his gravestone. Over here in this section back here is Sage Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's son, who is in the Rocky 5. Now if you look over here, you'll see where it says Dear Darling. That was Keanu Reeves' baby that passed away. Eva Archer Reeves. Very sad. Oh my God. He seems like such a good guy. And I think this was Keanu Reeves' girlfriend that had passed away. And over here, you have Richard Anderson, actor and producer. And right over beside where he is, you have Peter Bogdanovich. The Last Picture Show. We share a birthday. Says any man who can dance through life with hundreds of women and is willing to walk through life with one should be married. Lubitsch, the Merry Widow. Yeah, crazy enough, he was with Dorothy Stratton, who's right here, Playboy playmate who died so young. Her husband, ex-husband, she was trying to get away from, ended up killing her. And she was with Peter Bogdanovich, and then he ended up marrying her sister, from what I remember. It says, if people bring so much courage to this world, the world has to kill them to break them so. Of course it kills them. It kills the very good and the very gentle, the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure that it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. We love you, Dorothy Stratton. Alan Melvin, who played Sam the Butcher on the Brady Bunch, and also Probably the most famous pinup of all time, burlesque, Betty Mae Page. Betty Page. Kind of an interesting pairing there. They weren't together, but they are buried side by side. It's kind of interesting. Over here we have Paul Gleason, actor Paul Gleason, who played the principal on Breakfast Club, and also Clarence Beeks in Trading Places and things like that. Morgan Stewart's Coming Home, he was in that. 2 weeks! Alright, you got detention for 2 weeks. Oh, you want to go for more? And he's right next to the Beach Boy, Carl Wilson, who sang God Only Knows and played guitar in the band. Had a beautiful voice. My pal Shelley Winters had some memorable nights with him, she told me. And as we come into the Sanctuary of Love, here's Dean Martin. Everybody loves somebody sometime. What do we have to say about Dean Martin? Come on. Beloved Rat Pack member, the Dean Martin roasts. Just a lovable guy. Martin and Lewis. And right here we have Jeff Morris. Fine actor, weather permitting. That's a good one. Then of course everybody always wants to see Marilyn. You gotta show Marilyn, you know. They have a fan bench here that the fans have donated in remembrance of Marilyn Monroe from her many fans. And then Marilyn Monroe is right there. Untimely death. I know people love to show their care for her, but leaving the lipstick prints is just going to make this deteriorate even more. And then they're going to have to put a new face on here, a new slab, and then it won't be the original anymore. So if you're seeing this, please kiss your fingers, you know, something. Just do something different. Right next to her, of course, there was always the story that Hugh Hefner wanted to be buried on top of Marilyn Monroe, but he's actually beside her. Which is weird, because, you know, he bought that photo that he published of her, so it wasn't like she posed for him or anything, but he wanted to be buried next to her when he passed away. So there they are. Personally, I think she would have preferred someone else to be buried, someone that she was friends with or something, but now right over here in this corner, we're gonna see a lot. Starting over here on this wall. Peter Lawford actually used to be buried out here, and then they family wouldn't pay, so they moved him. But here's beloved Heather O'Rourke. Died far too young. Carol Ann, Poltergeist, 1, 2, and 3. She was on Happy Days. Hers was really sad. Basically, I think it was like septic. She died from internal problems. It's there's all kinds of rumors out there. I don't really want to go into them because there's no proof, but the rumors are very scary, and it's sad. Such a young girl passed away so young. Could have done so much more. And then right here we have Jackie Collins. Everybody knows Jackie Collins. Oscar Lerman. And then right over here is Truman Capote and Joanne Carson. Beloved friends. Author Truman Capote. Right there is Mel Torme. He was before my time, but I knew of him because of Night Court. Judge Harry Anderson was always a fan of Mel Torme and always had pictures. Loving father, loving husband. Music, the greatest good that mortals know, and all of heaven we have below. Mel Torme. Melvin Howard Torme. Then right here we have Ava Gabor of the famous Gabor sisters. Ava Gabor from How Can You Not Love Ava in Green Acres. And then right next to her is Lady Rollins. Director John Cassavetes right there. Barney Fife, the great Don Knotts. This also may be one of the greatest headstones ever. This was not the original headstone that was out here when I first came to visit him the first time. That one is great. I love it. They did that one with pure class. Obviously, I won't be able to see every single famous person that's buried here, but I'm doing my best to remember them from memory. Like this is Minnie Riperton. Minnie Riperton Rudolph, Maya Rudolph's mother. Loving You Is Easy Because You're Beautiful. What a great song. Great vocal sound. It says, hers was a gift of love, a miracle of life, for all the world to see and hear forever. I believe she died of breast cancer. Great singer. So you see the beautiful plants right there? Roy Orbison's right here. From what I understand, because I was very shocked. If you're looking for him, he's right between Grandma Martha Monroe and Frank Wright Tuttle, who is a director and writer also. And he's also by Richard Dawson, former game show host. Gotta love that. Man, it is so weird watching episodes with him on it. He's always hugging and groping people. Probably wouldn't have been accepted today, but anyway, yeah, this is Roy Orbison's unmarked grave. I'm not sure why it's unmarked. I've asked several people, because you know, he had a family before. He had a wife, Claudette, and he had kids, and Claudette died in a motorcycle accident while out riding with Roy. They were out riding together on separate motorcycles and she got hit. And then while he was out on tour, because the Beatles invited him to go to perform in England, he left his kids back in Tennessee, and the house they were in caught on fire and his children passed away. So they're all buried in Tennessee. I kind of thought maybe he would be buried there too, but then I asked around. People told me that there was originally a plan for like this beautiful grave to be right here, like a headstone and everything for him and his wife, and then it just never happened for some reason. Don't know why. Don't know what changed. I know the family's not hard up for money. I mean, his sons have been on like the Below Deck show, and that ain't cheap to rent a yacht like that. So yeah, I don't know. There must have been a reason. Maybe Roy didn't want one, but God, what a great voice. I loved Roy Orbison. Okay, so if you are looking for Frank Zappa, you're gonna find this tree pretty close to the entrance. You come in here, look for the big tree, and then pretty much right beside it, you'll look for a grave that says Lou Ayres. It was, I believe that was an actor, if I'm not mistaken. Lou Ayres, and Frank Zappa is actually right here. Behind him, like diagonal, he was buried like this when he was buried. And then his wife Gail, when she passed away, was buried right directly on top of him. So they're right behind Lou Ayres right there, going this, you know, where the rest of them look like they're going that way, they're actually this way. And a little further behind, closer to the funeral home over here, we're looking for, he's directly below this tree. It is the great Jim Backus. Thurston Howell III, the voice of Mr. Magoo. You can see Jim Backus and his wife, Henny. Thurston Howell III, Mr. Magoo, James Dean's father in Rebel Without a Cause, his wimpy dad. Yeah, Jim Backus, how cool is that? Right over here you have Daryl Zanuck. Wow, and his wife Virginia Fox Zanuck. who was an actress, Virginia Fox. Daryl Zanuck, wow. We're talking Gone with the Wind. Passed away in Palm Springs, it says. Co-founder, president, producer of 20th Century Fox Studio. Doctor of Humanities, University of Nebraska and Lincoln. Wow, what a life. And there's Virginia Fox. Golden Circle Award for the Most Dedicated Citizen of the Year, 1972 and 73, by the Governor Ronald Reagan. Wow. And then right up here in the very front row, Danny Sugarman. Danny Sugarman was heavily involved with the Doors. I think he managed the Doors and everything. He was always associated with them. And it says there are things known and things unknown, and in between are the Doors. So there you go. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed all the famous graves we saw today. We will see you all next time. Have a great night and goodbye.